we've got a compass. We've got a few different kinds up on that front counter. A quick way to open it up wider, because we want this distance that's open to be a little less than half of our paper, so that the circle can be as big as it can be on this sheet. If I did it like this, it would be a pretty small circle. So a quick way to open this compass is actually just to roll it on the table. Do you see how when I roll it, it just quickly opens up that distance of the compass? And then that looks about a little less than half the width of the paper, would you say? The half of the height? So when we get it open to the right amount, we're going to use the metal end to poke into the paper just gently and make sure that the pencil lead is still on the paper up at the top. And the easiest way to use a compass is to actually keep it in one spot and then turn the paper. So if I take and keep the compass in one place and I'm actually rotating the paper around, you're pressing only really in the middle where the metal point is that's kind of anchoring the compass in place. And that will give you a pretty good circle. If you try to rotate the compass, it can often kind of fall off its track and get in the wrong spot, so that's a little bit tricky. The next step is to take a ruler. So we need to divide the circle into 4 equal sections to start. Eventually we'll be making this 12 equal sections. So I'm gonna find the middle-ish of the circle here. I'm not measuring with the ruler, I'm just using it as a straight edge. I'm going to line up the edge of the ruler with the bottom of the paper and make sure that it's not on an angle. Make sure it's exactly at the bottom of the paper. And find the middle of my circle here. And I'm gonna draw a line. Then I'm going to do the same thing going across my paper. It's always easier to find the center of something if you're looking at it straight on, so I'm gonna turn my paper for this. Make sure the ruler is at the bottom. Really make sure I'm finding the widest part of that circle. And just give it kind of a quick look. Sometimes holding it out like at an arm's distance and looking at it from back can help you to see if it's not quite in the middle, but I think that looks pretty close to the middle of my circle. The tricky part is, how do I get 3 equal sections in each of these quarters? And there's no way to do that with a ruler because it's a circle. Does anyone know this trick with the compass? I can take my compass in order to find where I need to mark to make these 3 equal sections in each area. I'm gonna put my compass on this point here, so it's open to the exact same amount as it was before to draw my whole circle, but this time I'm gonna make a little mark right here. I'm gonna swing it down and make a little mark right here. Then I'm gonna come to this point, make sure my little point of my compass is right on that intersection of those 2 lines. I'm gonna make a little line right here. I'm gonna make a little line right here. Then I'm gonna come to this point, make sure it's lined up right. And then I've got my little point here, my little point here, and then I'm gonna come here and make my little line here and my little line here. And now, anywhere that that compass has intersected with the edge of my circle here, now I can take my straight edge. I can make sure that it's right where these cross, so right at the intersection of those 2 marks. It comes through the intersection of the middle of my circle here and ends at the intersection of these 2 marks over here. And we always want to put our ruler a little side to where we want the line to go. And we can draw our pie slices in, and it will give you 12 equal sections. Intersecting lines as well. So now I have 12 equal sections. They're all the same, and I can draw my radial symmetry design for my color wheel inside of them. I made these papers a little larger than what they need to be. Because if you notice on my example here, do you see all the marks that I have along the edges of my picture? This is on a super delay, sorry. See all these marks over here? This is testing. Do you see these marks over here where I've tested my color with the water to see how light it is? How much white paper is showing through? That's why I made these papers bigger than they needed to be. We can trim them after. So when we're all done, we can trim off this whole thing, or maybe, because this kind of looks pretty. What do you guys think? I kind of like these little testing marks, so maybe you want to include that as part of your design. Maybe you're like, no, I like things perfectly neat and that is messy, and you don't like it, and that's okay too. But if you like this, maybe it inspires your design in some way. But that was my area to test my paint and how much water I had added and how light it appeared before I went on to the actual color wheel. Did that help you guys to kind of see how to set this up if you're doing a circle for your color wheel? Any questions? Okay.